Hello, hello, hello. My name is Melissa Diller, and I am the creator of Renew Hope podcast and YouTube channel. And the reason I created this is because there's so much change going on in the world. And I wanted people to know what's renewed hope in my life through yoga in the past decade plus. So I am 37 years old, and I found yoga at the age of 14 through meditation. I went to yoga teacher training at Balanced Health and Wellness, taught and owned by Courtney Butler Robinson. And then I went on to get my 300 hour through Wendy Cook at Big Rock. I have taught at so many different places. My first job at a teacher training was at 10 Fitness, which is a local family owned gym here in the state of Arkansas. And I've taught at 3+ locations of theirs. And it was such a wonderful experience because we always had beginners in every single class. And then we always had those students who were continuing their practice and growing with me. So it was a great teaching opportunity for me to be able to teach all levels. And I always felt like that was the most difficult when I was first starting out. From there, I started teaching at a studio for a few years. And I've also taught at a variety of different places like retreats, libraries, elementary schools, government entities, all different sorts of places outside. So that's what I love about yoga teaching is you can make it your own and take your love of yoga anywhere you want. I first started sharing my love of yoga in my corporate job at Verizon Wireless. I would just gather people in one of the meeting rooms before work and host some meditations. And this is before I even got my teacher training because I just wanted everybody else to experience the goodness of yoga. So the ways that yoga has renewed hope in my life are so many. And I asked the guests to narrow it down to like 1 to 3. So I'm going to try and do that today for you guys. The first way that yoga renewed hope in my life was when I was 14 and I was having trouble sleeping. And my mom popped some meditation CDs by John Kabat-Zinn into my room. I still have those CDs. And I got so desperate that I started listening to them. And the body scan was something that was very beneficial for me. So that was the first way. The second big way that yoga renewed hope in my life is when I went to training. I went to Courtney Robinson's training in order to be able to share more with my coworkers at Verizon Wireless. I didn't have any intentions of like teaching at a studio or anything like that when I went. And I convinced my mom to come with me because yoga had been a big part of her life. My grandmother practiced yoga when my mom was little, so it's always been a part of my mom's life. And she was interested in learning more about yoga, not necessarily about teaching, so she opted in. And we were the first mother-daughter duo to graduate from that teacher training program. It was a great bonding experience for us. And the other thing that happens during teacher training is a lot of transformation. We were told that and we saw that. And now that I own my own teacher training school, it's definitely very evident. And my own experience during teacher training was transformational. And I think the reason is because it's like an intensive and you are doing so much yoga because everybody's teaching each other. So you're practicing so much and our bodies are giving us messages all the time. And yoga allows us to hear the messages from our soul. And because we're doing so much yoga in such a short period of time to help each other learn how to teach, we can no longer ignore the messages. And one of the messages that I kept getting was that I really needed to start this Drama Kids business. It's a franchise that we had on the East Coast where I came from. And in Arkansas, there weren't a lot of acting options. I volunteer taught drama for middle school kids at the library. The wait list was off the charts. And I kept getting this nudge to start a Drama Kids business. And I was actually working at Verizon Wireless still as an event planner, and I loved my job. But I did listen to my soul because I could no longer ignore it anymore. And Drama Kids blew up, and I ended up leaving my corporate job, and it was really more magical than I could have ever experienced. So that was a huge transformation in my life. The third way that yoga has changed my life and renewed hope is I had a very challenging experience getting pregnant, had some fertility issues, and then pregnancy was very high risk for a multitude of reasons. And it was so high risk that my neonatal doctor and my OGYN did not want me practicing the poses of yoga. But what I want you to know is that yoga is 8 limbs and practicing the poses is only one of the limbs. So I utilized all the other limbs throughout that pregnancy to get me through it, especially during a pandemic. And meditation was like explosive. And I had already meditated a lot before that, very strict meditator, daily meditator, but it was very long periods during that. So I used that tremendously. And then after I had the baby, postpartum was very challenging. And we don't talk about that a lot in the Western culture, but my mom used Ayurveda, which is the sister science to yoga, to help heal my body and heal me back. And also, not only was I using those skill sets that my mom had studied deeper in her yoga teaching experience, but I also studied how the poses and the breath work and the mindfulness could restore my body. I had a separation of the abs called diastasis recti, and I was able to close that gap. It was a very large gap through yoga poses and breath work and meditation. And I want to share that with everybody else. I already started some local courses here, but it's just phenomenal. So that's my new kick right now is sharing how yoga can heal our bodies in postpartum. So with that being said, I have developed all sorts of different ways to share how yoga has transformed my life. I have a free yoga discussion. We're kicking it back off in June of 2021. I'll put the details down below. And it's a yoga discussion for yoga teachers and yoga studio owners on Sunday nights. And we just share sequences and share what's going on in the industry and different things like that. And then on Monday night, it's open to anybody, yogis, practitioners, people who are brand new to yoga, and we talk about the 8 limbs because yoga is not just poses. It's not just meditation. It's so much more than that. It's a lifestyle. And that's completely free. We do ask for donations to cover the costs, but you don't have to make them. We want everybody to be open to that. And then the second thing that my friend Michelle Viscotti and I started is a school online. For those of you who live in the outskirts, the country, who can't come to the city to a yoga studio, those of you that may still be quarantined for health reasons, even though we have the vaccine out, we are starting our second round of online teacher training in July of 2021, and we would love for you to join us. It's been a fantastic experience. Our current students have been very pleased, and we've seen a lot of growth and transformation. The third thing is that I am offering private and community classes for this postpartum. And you don't have to be postpartum. You could just have a core injury, a low back injury, or maybe some incontinence. All of those things will benefit through what I'm trying to share in the yoga postures and the meditations and the breath work. So I will have all the details down below. Look forward to seeing you guys. All right. Have a great day.